Guys, they said allegedly that the wives of the king are in emotional disarray over what is happening right now. They said they have started lamenting bitterly that this is getting out of hand. How come a man that have up to 7 wives is only concerned about a particular wife? That this is not fair. Hey. They said the wives are now lamenting, complaining that they no longer know their stand in that palace as their position is floating on uncertainty because they cannot say that this is where they now belongs to or that is their stand in that palace. You know that one thing is certain. If Kabiesi succeed in bringing back Queen Naomi into the palace, a lot of them will leave. They will leave the palace because that is not what they have expected. Yes, most of them have expected that Queen Naomi is gone and gone for good, and there is nothing that will bring her back to the palace. But one way that they have not played their role very well is that they would have convinced Kabiesi at all costs to free Queen Naomi because they can only be sure of their position, especially those of them whose first wife position they enter their head. They should have tried everything within their power, even if it means using their manipulative skills to manipulate the king into uh making the king to free Queen Naomi. Because I believe that if Kabiesi have freed Queen Naomi during that period that he married all of these women and they were enjoying, they were making him happy, this, that. I think during that period there was this kind of problems that we have been hearing recently. We are not hearing things like that. So had it been they were able to play the role of manipulating Kabiesi into giving Queen Naomi her full freedom, maybe by now Queen Naomi would have remarried and they will be sure of their position in the palace. I'm just saying my mind though. But because they did not achieve that, then right now Kabiesi have made up his mind that it is time to bring back his wife. And remember, diviners will come and tell Kabiesi, stay away from these women. Be careful with these women. This, that. And all this while, I don't think Kabiesi was listening to those prophecies and statements. But only recently, it's beginning to look like he is doing all of. He's no longer just listening, but he is doing everything to avoid them. That is not to say that they are no longer married to him, they are still married to him. They still go out there to represent him. But if you watch closely, that relationship, that closeness, that lovey-dovey is no longer there. And that is because Kabiesi spent most of his time right now, from what we are hearing, making sure that he shows Queen Naomi all the love that she deserves. That he makes sure that everything that has to do with Queen Naomi, he is doing it without wasting time. you know. And all thanks to Iyanifa because they said the presence of Iyanifa in that palace is helping Kabiesi achieve this goal of bringing back Queen Naomi and Tadenika back to the palace. Because if not for Iyanifa, I believe that up till now, this issue of the ritual did not go well. The gods rejected the rituals. We will still be hearing things like that, thereby delaying Queen Naomi's return. But with the help of Iyanifa, even when the elders are doing their own, I'm sure spiritually, Iyanifa is bigger and stronger than all of them, even when they join their own forces together. So, for that reason, Iyanifa also is more concerned about making sure that Queen Naomi returns back to the palace. Not because Queen Naomi or because Kabiyesi loves Queen Naomi, no. But because they said Iyanifa also know that Queen Naomi have a great role to play on the throne or for the crown. So her presence in the palace will bring more goodness than any other thing, And her presence in the palace will stop some of this news that we are hearing. So, and we all know that the moment she returns back to the palace, there are some people who will leave that palace. Go and mark today's date. Some people will leave maybe because Queen Naomi's presence and her activities in the palace will no longer allow them to survive with their own, in the sense that darkness and light cannot coexist, While others may leave because of the fact that Kabiyesi will no longer be showing them that affection and the love that he was showing them while Queen Naomi was away. So, unlike just like this Oletik, we all know how Oletik was always boasting how she is Kabiyesi's favorite, how Kabiyesi will call her in the morning, call her at night, this, that. But only recently, after returning back to the palace with her twins, a lot have changed. They say that kind of attention, she no longer gets it from the king. Remember that Queen Naomi have not returned, and she is complaining. What do you think will happen when Queen Naomi finally returns? So they are now complaining. But the fact remains that Kabiyesi is the one that married all of them. He should find a way to balance the equation. Because I believe that if Kabiyesi finds a way to balance this equation, the wives will not be complaining. Because sometimes too much of complaint, they will start ganging up and all of that. That is if all this information is true. But one thing they should always know is that when a man marries 4, 5, 6, 7 wives, he will always have a special person, someone that is dear to his heart. It did not start with Kabiyesi, and it is not going to end with Kabiyesi. Yes, go and check other people who married many wives. You cannot tell me that the man will love all of them equally. It is not possible. It is not possible that he will love them equally. You know, there is one person that will captivate his heart so dearly that most times it will look as if he is favoring that particular person than others. That is because he have higher level of love for the person than the others, and that is what these Oloris are suffering in this situation. Anyways, I just see this and I said let me come and share it with you, but it is expected. Thanks for watching. Don't forget that they are all alleged information. I do not live in the palace. Always bear that in mind, okay? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, follow my page, and share this video. I love you guys. Bye. See you.